We'll do the recap. All right, the recap, which is from where we have moved into. All right, from one stage to another stage. Right. So over here, the recap goes back to the business process cycle. You can see this cycle, right? So in every business, as I have always started the recap, I always start with saying that in a business they need a proper procedure, right? Proper procedure to do what? To ensure that their informations or data is properly handled. Then we have what we call the business process cycles. All right, and we have multiple cycles, and these cycles is not. These cycles are not right. These cycles are not for fun. All right, they have their own objectives. Right, they have their own objectives to be fulfilled. All right, over here we have objectives. So what do we mean by objectives? So let's say from order to cash, which is the revenue cycle. So our objective is to ensure the sales, the cash is collected, the invoice is being issued to the customer. You know, they have like, it has the objectives, but ultimately you want to regulate your sales, right? You want to ensure that your sales is monitored. Does that make sense? All right, the objectives, each cycle has its own objectives, all right? And that's why you need this process, okay? But the problem comes in if this process got some error over here, or some issue in the process. So what happened is that, for example, the customer did not receive the goods, or the customer received the goods, but you didn't issue the invoice to the customer. This kind of, I would say, error that happened, right? Or this kind of issues that might occur in the business process. And that's why that takes us to, again, analyze, right? Analyze what is happening in this process. Right, you want to analyze, you want to go back and you want to look at it. But let us look at this error down here. We can say that this error or this issue can be result of the loophole, right? Loophole in the process. Okay, you have the process set up accordingly, step 1, step 2, step 3, but there's always a loophole in between. You say that, okay, why there's a loophole? Because maybe someone wants to jeopardize the process, right? Straight away go into stage 2 or straight away go into stage 3. For example, right, maybe the front door is here, right? But there are another 3 more doors over there. So for someone to get in here, maybe they should come in from this front door, but they didn't do so. They straight away shortcut from there and then come in and then take any seat they want. All right, so that's like a loophole. You got what I mean? And first possible reason that will cause us to reevaluate our business process over here is none other by, there's a loophole, all right? This is the first one over here. There's a loophole, all right? Loophole, and loopholes over here can be solved either, mostly by what? Mostly by proper internal controls, right? So over here we can see with proper internal control, we could close the loophole. Does that make sense? All right. If you have control over there, you got someone standing over there, 3 person standing over there, then they say, all right, you need to enter from this side of the room, then you got the loophole covered. Makes sense, right? That's what we have learned in ACW482-WEEK, all right? 281, you have learned the process, you have learned some risk or loophole, then you, how to say, you put in some controls, right? You put in some controls to prevent these loopholes, all right, from happening. Are you all happy with that? All right. But there's also over here we can say it might be resulting from the what happens when this process is not doing well? One is because of loophole, all right? The process itself, there's some problem with the loophole. Second, if it's not the process with the loophole, then it's what? It goes back to the efficiency and the effectiveness of the process. All right, the E and E, right? Over here, the E and E, all right? Over here is the efficiency and the effectiveness of the process. Either it's because of the loophole, or it's because of the efficiency and the effectiveness of the process. Okay, does that make sense? And if we talk about the efficiency and the effectiveness, we will look into these two points over here, all right? What is it? It is over here is simple, right? Because I write that software already. The software might not be efficient, all right? The software might not be effective. That will cause this issue to the business process cycle over here. Can you see that? System, the software might be the problem, or the process itself, all right, might not be efficient. Okay, so over here is the process. Over here is the software or the system, all right? It is overlap, all right? It can be overlapped in this sense, but the focus is like this. Either it's loophole, or number two, it talks about the system is not effective or efficient, or the process is not effective or efficient. Okay, that's the main thing, all right? That's the main thing why we need to evaluate again, all right? We need to look into the evaluation. That's the whole subject that we are doing over here, right? And with this, okay, with this evaluation again, we look into it. The process over here, what we can do with this process is you go and then you notice that the process is not efficient, right? For example, maybe you have to walk into the counter, let's say to buy something, but you have to go through several steps. All right, you need to maybe get a trolley, and then that's okay, right? But maybe you need some approval, all right? You need to get some approval from not only 1 person, but 3 persons. Let's go with this one, right? I cannot say this, but let's say in a example, right? In a case example, you want to register something, all right? So you have to go through several, how to say, process, right? Procedure. Get the approval from this guy, get the approval from the other guy. Only you can register this, but you cannot register it physically, online. You have to register it physically. You know, this kind of different things, that the process that is making your life harder, right? Or the customer life harder. And in that sense, what we can do to solve this problem is we can introduce the BPR, right? What is BPR? It's not CPR. Right? It's not CPR, right? It's BPR, right? It's business process. Yeah? I did notify you before, right? I did told you before, if you remember. Business process, we got the re-engineering over here, right? Business process re-engineering, all right? You want to go back and then you want to reevaluate this process to see which part is not doing well. So instead of engineering the process, all right, the process is already there. You are re-engineering it. You are looking step by step again how to improve the process. Is that okay? And over here is basically the person to look into. All right, I'm just putting some diagram over there. All right, for you to illustrate an engineer. All right, they are going back and then they are rechecking back the process and then they want to improvise it. But in terms of software, all right, over here, which leads us to our study over here, right? We are doing the SDLC, right? This is where the main thing starts, all right? This is where you notice that the process is not efficient. You did that. How you know that the process is not efficient? First, you do the first stage, right? System survey. Remember that or not? That was just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago. Is it correct? 2 weeks ago. So we start with a system survey or planning, right? Right. And during this time, what we do is we do the problem, framing the problem, identifying the needs, right? Whether this is a need for you to solve or not. And over there, identifying the problem, we can see that the problem might be result from this, might be result from this, it might be result from this, it might be result from this. All right, what kind of problem that it goes into. And from there, we frame it, we do our scope, our project scope, remember? Then you do the objectives on what you want to achieve from providing the solutions. Then you did your the preliminary feasible test. Not test, assessment, all right, assessment. And you did 3 types of different assessments. The technical, whether you have the workforce, or you have the skills to develop or to change the thing. You have the economic, the finance, do you have enough resource to pay? And then you have the final one, which is the organization, yeah? The time work. Time work also can, all right? But the main one is on the organization, right? Whether this organization can accept your system or not. Imagine like this, all right? You want to create an information system for the farmer. And then you call the farmer to input all the transactions one by one. Do you think they want to do it? They wouldn't want to do it, right? Because their job is, number one, maybe they want to just do the farming process, or there's a lot of tasks he or she would be doing. So you need to consider that facts, all right? And then how do you automate certain information for the farmer? Don't have to input them manually, all right? It will be automatically captured by the IoT, which is Internet of Things, all right? Those kind of digitalizing the process, and then how you will solve it. Then we go into the last week over here, which is the system structured Analysis, yes. Right. And over here, we look into three things, right? Three things. But there are a few things, right? There are a few things in this highlight. One of it is to actually go back and capture this. You want to capture this process, all right? You want to capture what is happening in the process first. Just now, you identify this thing, right? In the first stage, you identify the problem. Then second is you go back and you want to capture what is happening inside the business. All right, how do you capture? One is you create the flow charts, all right, on how the process is being conducted or has been processed. Then from there, you can see where is the problem, all right? Only then you see if it's regarding the system, what kind of data you require to collect, all right, to solve this problem, or what kind of things that you want to improve. Their system requirement collections, and finally you do a more thorough feasibility test, right? Which include another two more factors, which is the schedule and what? We have the three main, right? The technical, economic, we got the organization, then you got the schedule, then you have the fifth one is what? What is it? Okay, let you go back and review that, all right? In simple, I also forget, right? Simple, I also forget, right? But anyway, this is where we at now, right? This is where we at right now, and from this software we go down to here. Once you determine everything, it will be today's lesson. All right, let me just stop here.